Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right. I am about to do another video on printable transfers, Jet Pro 3Gs, but my 7840 is running out of ink for the black, and there's a lot of black in this. So I'm going to show you guys how to change out the chips on this particular printer. All right. These I would say the 7840 and the 7820 are the new versions of the 7820, 7710, 7720 Epson printers, and they have single-use cartridges or single-use chips. So you have to change out the chips every time that the printer says that it's out. And I almost forgot, I also have to refill the ink, and I did not grab any ink. So if you will just give me 2 seconds, let me grab, okay, that's Sublimation ink. This is Pigment ink, but I know I have one that's already opened. That's Sublimation. I know I have a Pigment ink that's already open, but wherefore art thou? I almost forgot I have to refill it too. Okay. Allow me 1 second. I'm just going to pull the ink off of the main desk. Just give me 1 moment. Okay, I'm back. All right, let's go ahead and let's go to brand. All right, so this is the 7840 printer. So this one has 2 trays. It's an all-in-one. It has 2 trays. The difference between this one and the 7720 is in the front tray, you can only print 11 inches wide. If you want to do 13, you have to go from the rear feed. So you can only do 13 inches wide. 11 inches wide from the tray, but you can do 13 from the rear feed. So I'm going to, let's see. I need to switch to, all right, hold on. Solo layout. All right, why is it not switching to this camera? Oh, my camera's not on. Okay, there we go. More layout, and let's go to guest. All right, there we go. All righty. So, I'm sorry, my hand's in the way. So I have to switch to my phone. So right now, this says insert cassette because I pulled it out because it is low. So if I go close, if we look right here, my black ink is basically no more. All right. So if I go ahead and let this print, it's going to stop in the middle of that print. So I'm going to cancel this. Job list, go here and cancel. Want to delete this job? Yes. So once that's done, we're going to go back to home. We're going to go to settings. Then we're going to go to maintenance, ink cartridge replacement, and then hit start. So that's again showing me what the status is. I'm going to lift up the top. Actually, I'm going to check all of them. I probably should top them all off because this style cartridge is a little bit different. So as you can see, there is ink in this cartridge. But, okay, I'm going to have to switch to the camera because I can't do this with one hand. So hold on. Let's switch back to... Okay, so I'm going to switch back to this camera while I break down how these printers work, okay? So you'll see ink in the cartridges. The printer does not really know how much ink is actually in the cartridges. It doesn't know. What controls what is on this indicator are these. You have to think of the chips as like a countdown counter. They store a certain number of prints. And when it's full, let's say it's at like 100 prints, and as it gets down to 0 prints, that is what makes your level on, or the supply status go down. You can have this full of ink, yet it will still show as empty, half full, whatever. So my yellow, magenta, and cyan all say about halfway. My yellow, because I had to replace this whole cartridge because it was messed up, it's actually full. My magenta is about half. My cyan is a little under half. So I should really put some in this one also, but I'm not going to do it right now. But this is the one that I have to change out. So when you're doing this, you don't change out your cartridges every single time. The ink will stay in here. And I'm going to top, I'm going to top this off. And then I'm going to take this chip off and replace it. So to take it off, it's really simple. You're just going to pull down. And you're going to discard this. Like, you really don't need this anymore. And then I'm going to grab a new chip. And you're going to take it, put it on there, right here, like so. You'll line these pegs up with this top part right here. So it sits in there like that, and then just push up until it snaps. This is technically done. I put this, even if I don't fill this off, it will still read as full. Again, the printer does not know how much ink is actually in the cartridge. This is what controls it. This is what tells it how much ink is in there. So you have to change those out. Whether you're using it for sublimation or pigment ink, you have to change the chips. It's almost like going and buying a new Epson cartridge and then just putting a new cartridge on there. So when you're buying a new cartridge, you're essentially from Epson buying a new chip. So I do need to top this off, so I'm just going to take that out. I'm going to poke a hole in my ink, tilt it. I only need a little bit. Hold on. Let me open that up some. Okay. So now, fill that. You fill in the top hole. So we're going to take this out, store it in the vent hole for safekeeping. Put this here and just top it off. Don't overfill it. Push the rest back in there. Take this from here, put it back here. So this one will reset to full. Because I'm not changing the chips on these will not reset to full. So we're going to go ahead and just put them back in. So cyanogen to yellow. I just drop them all back in at the same time. Click them until they are down. Let me move this out of the way so we have no accidents. Make sure that you don't mix them up. So I recommend that you discard this. I mean, if you want to keep the clip just in case, because if you ever get like Epson cartridges, you can always use this clip. If you're using the printer for sublimation and let's say you have a set of actual Epson cartridges, you can use the clip and then cut off the tabs on it and put the Epson chip on there. Like let's say maybe you find some on a marketplace or something and you want to use them, you can save this. But so that you don't mix them up, make sure that you take your chip off and you discard it. If you're going to keep the clip. If you're not going to keep the clip, just take them both and throw them in the garbage. Ooh. All right. And that one will go in the garbage. So now I'm going to close this and close my top. Let me grab my phone so that you guys can see the change. So hold on. Let me guess Shakia solo layout. All right. So now I'm going to close it. Oh, I forgot. This particular printer, so this is how you know that it accepted it. It will go through the initializing process. This is not like the 7720 where once you close it, it will give you like, you'll see whether it's an X or an exclamation mark, and then it'll ask you like if you want to proceed. This one will just start doing the initialization. And then like on your computer, you can see this is not a genuine cartridge. I'm not sure if it comes up on this one, I forget, but it's just going to go into, it's going to say initializing. Basically what it's doing is a printhead cleaning and accepting the cartridge. So like with the 7720, 7710, you always have to initialize that first printhead cleaning because it'll just say ink cartridge replacement complete. And then you have to go back into maintenance and do the printhead cleaning. Let me switch out from this one because I don't have to hold this up. But this one will just pretty much do it by itself. So we'll just wait for this to initialize, and then you'll see that the black level is full and the rest of them stay the same. Chip resetters do not work on this printer. Yes, so that's what controls the printer. Every chip basically stores as like when you look at like Epson's, they'll say like, you know, from a single cartridge, if it's a standard cartridge, you may get 100 prints, but that's going to be 100 prints using 8.5 by 11 standard. Once you start to change things like putting it on high quality, premium matte, you're going from 8.5 by 11 to 11 by 17 or 13 by 19. It is chipping away. I don't know what like the exact number is, but that's how you have to think of it. That it stores a certain number of prints, and then it's going to go down as you are as you're printing. So that is what's controlling the status there. Yes, the 7820 and the 7840 are both wide format, but from the trays you can only print 11 inches wide. From the rear feed, you can print 13 inches up to 47.24. But from the front, you can only print 11 inches wide. Sometimes you have to make sure that you really do have it lined up and you're pushing it into it. So you just have to make sure that it's lined up. If all of your cartridges are not changing, most times it's because of just how you are putting it on there. If it's just one, try to just reposition it. And if it just like, you know, you feel like you're just putting it on there and it's not, and it's just not resetting, then, you know, you can always try another chip resetter to see if it was that particular one. But most times it's how you have it on there. Those pins have to touch the terminals. Oh, if it's only one, then that chip might be bad. The chips do go bad. It's just like anything else as far as computer, like technology. The chips can go bad. All right, so I want to show you. All right, so I'm going to go to settings. Hold on, got it into focus. It's not maintenance. Back up. Supply status. And see, my black is full. The others are not. So now I can go and finish printing off my job. All right. Do you have a video on the 7710, 77 feeding in more than one sheet of paper at a time from the trays? Anytime I print, I mean, I don't have a specific video about, I don't put just one sheet in. My trays always have multiple sheets in there. So I'm not sure if is it that you're having issues with it being more than one? Is it pulling more? You're getting jams? Are you using our sublimation paper, or are you using like, are you using for pigment ink and it's like regular paper? Yeah, because I don't do anything special. I just put them in there. So every time that it goes low and it either says like, you know, the ink is empty, yes, you have to change the chip. So with these, it's like operating like a regular printer where, you know, whenever you use Epson cartridges, if it goes out, you have to put a new Epson cartridge in. It's the same thing. The only difference is by using the refillable ones, you're able to put sublimation ink in there because Epson does not sell their cartridges with sublimation ink. Also, it's cheaper. If you were to go and buy XL cartridges from Epson and get a whole set, they would cost you $130. The chips are only $73 on our website for all four, and they're XL rated. So doing this does still save you on ink cartridge replacements. if you are using it as a regular pigment ink printer, or of course, if you're using it as sublimation. It is different. I know a lot of people are spoiled by being able to just auto reset the 7720, but this is how printers are designed to work. Cartridges are a single use and you change them out. So it works just like if you were using Epson cartridges. It's just more cost effective to use the refillable cartridges and the replaceable chips. All right. All right, y'all. I have another video that's going to start. I'm going to the job that I have to finish on this. So I'm going to send the rest of them. At first, I thought I was going to do the shirts, but my sister's going to send the shirts. So I'll probably have to do that as a second one, but I'm going to set up the Jet Pro 3G prints and cut them out on my Cameo and all of that. So that's going to be a fairly quicker one. And then whenever I get the shirts, I will do the full on, like pressing them to the shirts and all of that. So, do you know if Canon printers can use pigment ink? They are naturally dye-based printers. Now they do have EcoTank printers, and I have one, and I'm going to put our pigment ink in there. Will it work? Yes. The colors, however, will be off. One, Epson just has a totally different color profile. Two, it's Canons are dye, and then I'm putting pigment inks in there. Now, if it is a cartridge-based Canon, then no, you won't be able to, because unless there is a vendor that sells refillable Canon cartridges, then you won't be able to. Canon does not sell them with pigment ink. But with their eco tanks, you can put whatever ink you want in there. You just can't do sub because they do use heat to expel the ink, but you can put pigment ink in there. Okay, I have a 7710, 7820. My 7710 is giving me trouble. I use the chip resetter that is still not reading my cartridge. It keeps saying it doesn't recognize the ink. Then your chip may be bad. The chips can go bad. How long have you had it? Well, actually, guys, let me go because I have to get this done for my sister. But inbox me or just kind of post as a comment. I'll go back and answer because I definitely have to. I don't want this to be about a general kind of question because this is about just changing the chips. So I have to stop doing that so that the videos are not too long. So inbox me or just kind of, I'll come back to this video since you commented on Facebook and I'll answer it on Facebook. Okay. And then just real quickly, what's the difference between pigment ink and sublimation ink? Pigment ink is for your regular print needs. So if you're doing chip bags, labels, stickers, posters, invitations, it doesn't require heat to like show up. Sublimation ink requires heat and it goes to polyester and polycoated substrates. All right. All right, y'all, let me get up out of here because I have to prep for the next video because my sister needs these. So thank you guys so very much for watching. Hopefully this video helped for those who do have the 7820 and the 7840 and to see how easy it is to change the chips out. They are available on our website, shop.silaholicsAnonymous.com. The direct link is in the description of this video. So you can just use that. It'll take you right to the chips only. Or if you need to get the cartridges also, like your first set of cartridges with the chips on it, then click on the link above that and that'll take you to our Workforce 7820, 7840 starter collection. All right, guys, until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible.